Hello there YouTube, Mr. Tomo2304 bringing you a very quick Bleach review before I head on out. So this week we've got Bleach 499 called Rescuer in the Dark, and it starts off with Hiyoshi in the Research and Development Department saying they've secured a link with Ichigo and he's on his way. So we see Ichigo running through the Garganta, and unfortunately he has the X's on the front of him again, which tell me that there was a mistake in the previous chapter. Inoue and Sado arrive, and Kisuke tells them to go and get the medallion off Kirge's corpse. So apparently he's dead. He's there with a massive hole blasted through him. So they begin to analyse the enemy, and so Ichigo's on his way. Most of the chapter is just Akon telling Ichigo what's going on. Akon's getting a lot of screen time for someone who's just a minor character in the past arcs. But Ichigo rushes through the Garganta. Akon tells him that so far there's been 2,245 Shinigami deaths, 16 seated officers, and 1 vice captain who is Kira. But they keep being a bit ambiguous about it. Is Kira dead? Is his Reiatsu just disappeared for the moment? We don't know yet. Ichigo even questions it himself. Akon says that there are at least 16 captain level enemies, which are some of the Sternritter we've met so far. I'm guessing the lower half of the alphabet ranked Sternritter will be the vice captain level ones, a bit like Nananajkoop. And Akon says they haven't won a single battle yet. He's basically just relaying these terrible facts to Ichigo. The enemy is able to seal Bankai. The captains of the 2nd, 6th, 7th and 10th squads have had their Bankai stolen already. Ichigo can't believe what he's hearing. Then Urahara comes in on the line, which is quite funny. He has a little computer up in Wakemundo, and begins to tell them about the Quincy abilities, Volstendig, the power to seal the Bankai and the Blut, and the fact that the Blut might actually be the Quincy's weakness if they fight them properly. And so really this chapter is just a lot of exchanging of information. So while we already know most of it, it's necessary for the story to have this chapter so that Akon learns stuff and Ichigo and Urahara learn stuff as well. I mean, when you've got an enemy this strong, you need to ensure that everyone has the correct intel on them. So Urahara says that he's going to start examining the Kirge's medallion, and he says that the main factor is that Kirge couldn't steal it. So as Ichigo runs to Soul Society, Urahara says he'll be arriving there soon, when suddenly something blasts past Ichigo and seals off his exit, and we see that it's Kirge. He's actually standing back up with his Ranso Tengai ability. He's blasted about 3 holes through Chad, seems to have knocked Orihime to the floor and shot an arrow in Urahara's back as well. So Kirge stands to his feet with Ranso Tengai holding him up like a puppet, like Uryu against Mayuri, and he says that he won't let Ichigo get to Soul Society. He'll put his life on the line to stop Ichigo from getting to Soul Society. So he fires another arrow into the Garganta, and it traps Ichigo in some kind of cage. And so we see Ichigo is locked in a cage, and Kirge laughs maniacally before closing the Garganta on him. And he says that you are unable to get out and you will watch as Soul Society is destroyed. So interesting, this chapter went almost exactly how I wanted it to. I didn't want Kirge to be killed off by Urahara's Kido, because for someone who's been fighting for so long, that would just be such an anticlimactic death. So for Kirge to get back up using Ranso Tengai is really good news. I also sort of thought this is exactly how the chapter would go. At the risk of sounding like I'm lying, I actually thought this is how it would go. I thought that Kirge would either stop Ichigo from getting through, or he'd pull him back somehow. Because of course Kirge's his mission was to stop Ichigo from reaching Soul Society, so he was and someone like Kirge, who's extremely loyal, was likely to just try and stop him. So overall, this was a good chapter. I thought it was a better chapter than last week. The art was really good. And, yeah, I mean, what's going to happen next week for the big 500? Is someone going to arrive? Someone beginning with a G, perhaps? Going to arrive and save Ichigo? Or maybe not. I don't necessarily jump on the bandwagon that Grimjo's going to turn up anytime soon. The thing is, he's weaker than Urahara, unless he's managed to get Segunda Etapa, in which case I still think he's weaker than Urahara. So what good is he going to be against Kirge? Admittedly, Kirge is almost dead. So I personally think it's going to be Urahara versus Kirge. This could even lead up to Urahara's Bankai, seeing as we've seen just how resilient Kirge actually is. So that's it for this short review. Please subscribe, leave a comment about what do you think is going to happen for the big 500. Is it going to be something impressive, something major? How long is Ichigo going to be trapped in the Garganta? It's actually potentially quite dangerous for him to be trapped in there, because if the if the flow of particles beneath him stops and he falls off, he is going to end up in the abyss, I suppose. I don't think it's ever really been said what happens to you, but it's pretty dangerous either way. So, thanks again for watching, and it's just another week until the next chapter. See you then, people.